It looks simple, right? A small, copper coin from 1966, Australia's 2-cent piece. But behind this tiny circle of metal lies one of the most fascinating, valuable, and historic coins ever created in the land down under. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Because every week, we uncover the hidden treasures hiding in your change. Stories that could literally turn your pocket money into real money. Now, let's turn the clock back to the mid-1960s. Australia was on the brink of a revolution, not political, but monetary. For decades, Australians used the British-style currency system of pounds, shillings, and pence. But in 1966, the nation decided it was time for a modern transformation. The birth of the decimal system was not just a financial change. It was a statement of independence and modernization. And that's where our story begins, with the very first Australian decimal coins. Among them, the smallest in value but mighty in legacy, the 2-cent coin. First minted in 1966, this coin marked the dawn of a new economic era. The design was entrusted to one of Australia's most celebrated artists, Stuart Devlin, who later became known as the designer of coins for the world. His creation featured the frill-necked lizard, an Australian icon known for its dramatic display when threatened. This lizard, spreading its frill proudly, symbolized energy, confidence, and the wild uniqueness of the continent. On the obverse, the coin bore the first decimal-era portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin, a sculptor from the Royal Mint in London. The combination of these two masterpieces gave the coin a distinct elegance that collectors still admire today. The production of the 1966 2-cent coin was massive. Australia's own Royal Mint in Canberra handled most of the work, but to meet demand, the London Mint also struck millions of coins. However, not all coins were identical. The dies used in London had subtle differences from those in Canberra, differences that today make certain coins far more desirable. Now here's where things start to get exciting. Within this massive first-year issue, a few extremely rare varieties and proof quality strikes were made for testing and presentation. These special coins were not meant for circulation. They had mirror-like finishes, ultra-sharp details, and unmatched craftsmanship. Collectors pay thousands for such examples today. And then there are the famous error coins, minting mistakes that accidentally slipped through quality control. Some 1966 2-cent pieces were struck slightly off-center, double-struck, or with die cracks. These errors, depending on how dramatic they are, can increase the value of a coin exponentially. A clean, well-preserved mint error from 1966 can easily reach $1,000 or more at auction. The normal circulation coins, when preserved in perfect condition, are also prized. A 1966 2-cent graded at MS67 by a professional grading company can sell for around $300 to $600, depending on eye appeal and luster. Proof coins, originally sold only to collectors in box sets, regularly fetch between $500 and $900 if kept pristine. What makes the 1966 issue so special is that it was the first decimal coinage ever minted for the new Australia. The very first time ordinary Australians saw a copper coin marked with a value in cents. That first-year factor gives it a deep emotional and historical connection. It's also the last of its kind in some ways. The 2-cent coin was discontinued in 1992 and withdrawn from circulation, meaning every existing piece is now part of history. No more will ever be made. So every surviving 1966 example is a piece of a bygone era. Think about that. A coin worth just 2 cents back then could now fetch hundreds, or even thousands, depending on its grade, rarity, and story. And all because it marked the beginning of decimal currency. For collectors, condition is everything. A coin that has spent decades in circulation will show scratches, wear, and loss of shine. But a coin stored carefully since 1966 still glowing with that original red copper brilliance, is a potential gold mine. Many people have found these coins tucked away in old drawers or inherited collections, only to realize they've been sitting on a valuable piece of Australian history. And here's a secret few know. Some of the earliest 1966 2-cent coins struck in London used prototype dies that slightly differ in lettering thickness and rim design. These coins are ultra-rare, and experts believe fewer than a few dozen remain in perfect grade. Their auction prices could exceed $2,000 if authenticated. There are even rumors of patent strikes, experimental versions made before mass production, that never entered circulation. If one of those surfaces publicly, it could sell for over $5,000 to a top collector or museum. The fascination with this coin doesn't just come from its value, but its symbolism. It captures the moment Australia stepped boldly into the modern world. It was small, yes, but it represented something far greater: national progress, unity, and identity. And that's what makes collectors passionate about it. They aren't just buying copper, they're buying history, pride, and legacy. The 1966 2-cent coin is a living artifact, connecting generations and marking a moment when the country redefined itself. So before you assume that old coins are worthless, take another look. That 1966 2-cent piece hiding in your old piggy bank or inherited coin box could be a hidden treasure. If you love stories like this and want to discover more valuable coins still out there waiting to be found, hit that subscribe button now, because we've only just started uncovering Australia's forgotten riches. And remember, every coin tells a story. The 1966 2-cent tells one of change, progress, and value beyond its face. Today, collectors around the world are hunting for these first-year beauties. The next one discovered could be yours. So check your drawers, your boxes, your jars, because what you think is just copper could actually be your key to history and your ticket to a small fortune. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, subscribe once more if you haven't already. Because next time, we are diving into another rare coin that might just be hiding in your home right now.